Okay, so here I am. Just walked some distance into the woods here from my house. Since my fracture, almost 2 years ago now, 2016 September, I have not been out hiking, doing any camping, any climbing, nothing. I gained an enormous amount of weight. My health got really bad. So it's only now, after almost 2 years, that I'm actually getting to the point where I can start pushing myself again and start trying to do the things that I like. So today I'm going to do a short video just to practice my lighting skills, fire lighting skills, using a couple of techniques, see if I still got it. And this is my video. So yeah, so I'm not that far away from the house, just probably 500 meters or so. But it's a nice little spot here. It's a little damp on the ground, which is what I want. In Newfoundland, there's a lot of water everywhere. The soil is always damp, so I want to have some place that makes it a little difficult. So all I brought with me is a pack of matches, and I got a couple of techniques. I got a little bit of dryer lint from the laundry, and I also made a little small pack of dryer lint with a little bit of wax, melted wax on it. So that's just some of the things that I'm going to practice with. Okay, so here goes. Yeah, I'll post this up somewhere now so it works. We'll see what happens. So the first thing I'm going to do is build a little base of sticks, dry sticks, and that's what I'm going to build my fire on. That'll help keep it off the moss until the fire gets a little larger. So one of the most common mistakes people make is when they go to make a fire, is they gather little bits of firewood like that. They don't take enough of it to get the fire going and have it ready. It takes a lot to get a fire started properly, and a lot of people put a tiny bit there, but you want to have everything ready. All right, so once you start lighting the fire, it's a process until it grows big enough. So around here, you can see I got lots of dry material, lots of dry bushes and moss, lots of dried twigs and stuff I can break off. Ample source of supply. But the thing is, I want to have a lot ready. So I'm going to make another pile, roughly the size of that, which I'm going to put to the side to help to have it ready for when the fire starts. Because when you start an outdoor fire, you need to make sure that you start small and then build big. If you try to build it too big at first, you're not going to have enough to last. Or it's not going to work, sorry. So here is some simple tricks and tips. What I got right here is just a box full of dryer lint that I took out of the dryer. Here I have a tiny bit left of a tea light. And here I got an old tin can with the lid hole on the bottom, allows for some air. And I got the jar lint packed in there, and I melted the candle and I dripped the wax on this so that it provides some extra little bit of fuel. So for this case, I'm going to try the old tin first with the wax in it. First of all, you know what I will do is I'll just burn a tiny bit of the lint to show you guys what it's like. So what I got here, as you can see up in the corner here, I got a little bit of dryer lint. And just to show you how effective this is, I will light it. Just watch. As you can see, it burns really, really well. All right. It's super dry. It's great for fire starting. It's it's light. You can pack it. You can stuff a whole lot of it into it, and it works really well. So you can put this into the center and use that as a start, as a fire starter. One match will get you going. The thing is, you got to keep it dry. If you don't keep it dry, well, then it doesn't quite work so well. All right, now what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take my little can here with the wax in it, fire starter wax, and I'm going to light that. So here I am with the wax. Just put that down in the middle like that. I'm going to build it up around. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to tear up the wax, the dryer a tiny bit. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to light this. And just watch this. As you can see, with one lighter, one match, it got it lit up pretty ablaze. So the thing is though, I probably could have got away with it without any of this because the tinder is so dry. But sometimes the tinder is not dry. And this bog, this little bit of a patch of moss I'm in, is very damp. So again, you want to start your fire small, and then you want to start working it up. Again, the whole dryer lint idea is a great idea for very easy fire light or fire starting material. You can't ask for better, really. And it's cheap and it's free. Don't need to buy expensive stuff. So there you go. That's my little start of a fire I got going here now. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to let this burn down a tiny bit. And then I'm going to turn it into a cook fire. And while this is burning, as you can see, I'm going to gather the material to make this a cook fire. And a cook fire requires a little bit more larger bits of wood and twigs. See, if I was actually camping now or hiking, what I would have done is had the campfire material ready. So I'm just going to get this stuff to the side here now. My feet are actually getting damp from being in the bog. So as you can see, a perfect fire lighting experience with no issue and no fuss. The only thing that you need to do is make sure that your material, fire lighting material, stays dry. So what's the big problem here do you have when it comes to getting a fire started? Well, if you build a fire too bright or too strong, so it climbs up in a teepee shape like what that is doing, what happens is it burns fast. So we want to make sure we want to get a good base, and we want to turn this into a cook fire. And a cook fire is low, all right? Very low, but very hot. So I think I got enough here. Again, it's been a while since I did this. I'm just going to push that down a tiny bit like this. And now I'm going to build a nice flat section. All right. Now I do know I got that piece up there sticking up. So what this is going to do, this is going to allow everything to flatten out. Now I didn't bring any cooking pans or cooking pots or anything with me, but this is the start of what a camp or a cook fire looks like. And once you have it burning hot enough, you can start putting on the more material that's damp. Because damp material burns longer, it takes longer to burn, but you need to have heat. And that's what a cook fire is for. So that stick there is pretty wet. Put it this way so it burns flatter. So eventually now, this is what becomes a cook fire. As you can see, it's now pretty flat to the ground. And I'm trying to cook up, make a nice flat base. So some people do like the different fire building techniques, you know, where they can build like a teepee at first, which is what I started, kind of a dome shaped. And then you do your flat section. Now some people do like the hash, or the, you know, they stack it so it looks like a hash sign. That works too, but this is just as effective too, as long as you do it right and you take your time. But the key to any fire starting outdoors is to build small and then build up. So as you can see, this fire is already burning through a lot of my supplies, the tiny little bit that I had ready. So again, when it comes to fire building outside, you got to spend the time to gather the material. If not, you're going to have a hard time running back and forth, and you're going to be spending more time getting material for your wood or for your fire than you will for your actual sitting down and actually enjoying sitting next to it or even cooking. So you got to have your material ready first. So there's plenty of material here for this. Now, would this be a good place to make a camp? Absolutely not. This is a horrible spot to have a camp because the ground is soaking wet. Anywhere in Newfoundland where you have this moss material, if you were to sit down in this, you'll become soaked in seconds. It's just very, you know, it's like a big sponge filled with water. So you need to build your camp on a high ground and so forth. Because right now I'm in a hollow. The hill slopes up, and it's a cutover up above here. And that cutover allows all the water to drain down through here, and it gets into this little indentation or hollow in the ground. And then it becomes wet, and it flows all the way down here. But as you can see, this is becoming a very nice little cook fire, and I'm going to show you something. I'm just going to get the ashes here prepared, and I'll show you a little bit more. So here I am with my nice little cook fire. I just got to get a little small stick now so I can manipulate it a little better. There we go. So cook fire is important because you need to have coals and ashes, because if you try to cook in an open flame, you're going to burn all your food, and you don't want that. You're going to have to smell smoke everywhere. So what you need to do is just spread things open a tiny bit. Get a good set of coals here now. And also, you want to take your stuff, as you see the wood burns from the center out. So you can take the edges here now, and you can start moving that in the middle, and you build your fire in. So this is going to catch fire here now shortly. We'll do a little pause in the time here now, but you can see it's already starting to catch. And pretty soon this is going to be a nice little bed of hot coals, which you can cook on. Okay, so what I've done here, while everything was paused, I put a little bit more sticks in the middle, just to help build it up a tiny bit more. Again, I can't stress it enough. When you go to build a fire outside, you need to have the materials ready. If not, you'll have a lot of trouble trying to keep it going and get it just right. But for the sake of this video, I'm just grabbing stuff while I'm paused here and throwing it on. So some people may ask, well, why do you put the bigger stuff on the outside, like these two sticks here? Well, I do that because once everything in the middle here burns down and I get the good ashes, the good base of ashes, which is what I need, those two sticks allow a nice, good, stable place to put your pots or your pans or your kettle on your fire. So this is starting to smoke up now. It's starting to burn. And yeah, as you can see, it just caught fire perfectly, just like that. And this is going to become a really nice campfire, but you need to let the flames die down. That's the secret with a cook fire. Low flames, lots of coals. Or embers, as they may say. So again, campfire etiquette or camping etiquette basics. First of all, for the example in today's video, it has nothing to do with where you would camp. This is a horrible spot to camp. Never ever camp in a bog or in moss like this, especially in Newfoundland, because you will be soaked. As you can see, my shoes are all wet just from walking around, and it's a dry day out. So that's how much water the ground is holding. So this is a horrible spot to camp. Maybe I'll make a video sometime about where a good spot can be. But until then, we're just making a fire and making a good example here. So again, when it comes to fire starting, I'm going to take another piece of lint, and just to show people from the beginning that this all started with a little bit of fire starter, a little bit of jar lint. Look at that. You can't ask for a better fire starter for free, and you can pack it right up. You can pack it nice and tight, and you can take loads of it. And all you need is a small pinch, enough to get a fire started. And you put a little bit of wax on it, like I did in the beginning of this video with the piece that's in there. Man, it's golden. It's perfect. So why did I use the one with the tin? Well, I used the tin just because it's easy to light it and you can place it right where you need it. It's just a container that I don't mind getting destroyed. If not, if you just use the fire starter itself, it could get wet too easy. It's just a precaution, that's all. And sometimes in the wintertime, it makes it's also a good thing to be doing in the wintertime as well. Anyway. So the ground is becoming really becoming a nice set of coals underneath this. So that's good. So what else can I talk about while this is going? I don't know. But I certainly enjoy being outside again and being in a place where I can do outdoor stuff again. I'm at that point again. Being stuck in the house for the last year and a half, unable to do climbing, which I love, and I was just starting to get somewhat accomplished at it, in my own opinion. And all that was, gone out the drain. But no, I'm going to get back into my initial love for outdoors, which is the hiking and camping part. And I'll get back to climbing soon. I'm going to start rappelling again this time over the next couple of weeks as well, just to get back into using the ropes and the gear again. It's been a while. For work, I do a lot of this stuff, high angle rescue and confined space rescue training for the guys that I work with. So it's a skill I need to keep up. And one thing about anything for climbing related, if you don't use the skills, you're going to forget them. And that's easy enough to do. And that's the same as outdoor firecraft. This skill is what will keep you alive. Again, you need to have the skills of getting a fire started. Everything else is secondary. If you can get a fire started, you're good. Now, let me rephrase that. You also need to learn how to find a shelter, and a proper shelter. But the shelter will only do so much. You can manage in a shelter without a fire, but you will not be comfortable, nor will it be a long term. But a fire adds to the length of your ability to survive outside. And again, a small handful of jar lint. That's all you need. Now, another little technique you can use is just using tea lights. And you can just light the tea light. You can stick it into the fire, build your fire above it, light the tea light, and it does the same thing. It's light, it's easy to carry, but is it easier than jar lint? And the thing is, you have to buy this stuff. The jar lint, you don't. So you can pick and choose. So now it's starting to build into a nice hot glowing embers. I'm not sure if the video will pick up there, but there are starting to form some nice glowing embers underneath, and you need the fire or the heat to cook. So let me get another little, I burnt my poking stick. Now this is the worst thing about cooking in an area like this. because you need to have a good solid base. I only had a small base to build it on, and now that's all burned up. So sometimes you're better off actually using wet logs or logs and building your fire up on these logs. That way the water doesn't soak up into it, which makes the coals not as effective in the long run. But again, this is something to practice. I just really wanted to do something outside and have an excuse to do it. So there you go. Now that I got a nice flat base here, you can see, if I had a pan now, I can lay the pan across it like so, or tins or pots or whatever I need to do, and bango, Bob's my uncle. I'm just going to throw this little wax in there, see what happens. Well, because it'll burn and I can get rid of it. So yeah, so that's my fire. This is Campcraft 101, Locke Outdoors. This is going to be going on to my blog page, something that has not been updated in over 2 years, close to 2 years. But yeah, simple fire making, using simple techniques, using dryer lint. You can't ask for better, unless you put a little bit of wax into the dryer lint, and that makes it even more better, if that's such a term. So there you go. The fire will burn down now, and you'll have nice hot coals that you can cook on. And to keep it hot and keep it cooking as you're cooking going forward, you just take a little small stick or two and slowly keep the fire going now. And you want to keep those embers nice and hot. But anyway, guys, that's my video for outdoor cookcraft in nice, damp, boggy material, ground. Very simple. Yeah, so guys, that's me. That's my video for today. Locke Outdoors at .blogspot.ca. You guys have a great day. Camp safe. Think smart. And have a good Labor Day weekend. Or May 21st weekend. Sorry, not Labor Day. Anyway, you guys take care. Bye-bye.